Before we dive into today's episode, I want to extend a special invitation to all of our listeners. If you're considering adoption, navigating the home study process, or simply curious about your options, RG Adoption Consulting is here to guide you. Visit our website at www.rgadoptionconsulting.com/contact to schedule a complimentary chat. Our multi-agency approach is a strategic way to accelerate your adoption process without putting all your eggs in one basket. This strategy prevents you from feeling stuck with one agency, especially after a significant financial commitment. Why not consider a multi-agency approach with lower initial fees? We believe it makes a lot more sense. Plus, the support and education you receive through our services are aspects you might not expect you'll need until you're deep into the process. Reach out to us at rgadoptionconsulting.com/contact. We're here to support your adoption journey every step of the way. Your dream is to become a mom. My dream is to help you get there. I'm Rebecca Gruenspan, a single mom through domestic adoption and an adoption consultant for over a decade. I'll be your guide, along with other adoption professionals and members of the adoption constellation, walking you step by step down this beautiful and complex path of adopting your baby. When I was going through the adoption process, I had no idea what I was doing, what I needed to know, or more importantly, who to trust. Well, after helping hundreds and hundreds of families grow through the beauty and complexity of adoption, I've learned more than a thing or two, and let me tell you, it's not always rainbows and butterflies. This isn't just another podcast sharing adoption stories, but it's for you if you're genuinely committed to diving in with an open heart, eager to learn everything there is to know about adopting a baby so that you can show up for yourself and your child in the best way possible. This podcast is for you if you're ready to put your newfound knowledge into action. Adoption isn't for the weak of heart, and it certainly isn't done when your baby gets placed in your arms. If that's what you think, I'm afraid you're living in la la land. My promise to you is to keep it real if you promise to keep digging. We'll acknowledge the hard, and we'll also celebrate the joy that is adoption. You ready? Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to This Week in Adoption. What's going on? What is going on, and how has your week been? This may be like the craziest week for me. This weekend is my son's Bar Mitzvah. Today is September 19th, and his Bar Mitzvah is the 21st. However, the festivities begin, and the most important part of the festivities, well, it's not really the most important part, but it's a really amazing part. And the beauty of open adoption is that my son's birth family is coming into town and staying with us until Wednesday. So for, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 6 nights. And 4 siblings. So we have 6 guests staying with us for 6 nights. And which is a lot for anybody coming, but we are so excited. My son couldn't believe that I made him go to school today when they're going to be here probably at like 1. But I did. But I'm letting him skip tomorrow all day to prep for his big weekend. So the festivities are starting tonight. I'm feeling pretty good. No, I'm feeling really good and really excited. And it is a big deal. So anyways, I have a couple speeches I need to read to give, and I was doing some research. And in my research, about Judaism and adoption, I found this little excerpt that I want to read because I thought it was really interesting. It says, given the importance of lineage to the Jewish tradition, Jewish law has never developed a formal legal procedure for adoption. Unlike secular adoption, which just means not Jewish, the relationship between the child and the biological parents is never severed. And adoptive parents, therefore, cannot entirely replace the role of the biological parent. I love this. It's beautiful. And yeah, I just wanted to share that. I think that was really cool. It's something I didn't expect to find. And I agree with entirely that connection should never be severed, and you can never replace the biological parent. The next thing that came up this week, are you really prepared for withdrawal? I learn a lot from my other consultant, Rachel, all the time. She is really good at what she does, probably because she has worked on all sides of adoption before and I haven't. And she said that she really prepares people when we believe that the baby will be going through withdrawal for what that's going to look like, because you're never really prepared and it can be pretty scary. I've never seen it. I don't know firsthand. But the baby is going through pain during that time. And that can be hard to watch. They could be shaking a lot. They could be super, super stiff, and you can't, they don't bend any extremity. Sometimes you can't even touch the baby when they're going through withdrawal. And I was so glad she brought this up to me, because 11 years in, nobody's ever talked to me about withdrawal that way. And I think that's a really good thing for you to know if your expectant mom who you're matched with is using drugs or substances and the baby is exposed. You can expect withdrawal, and sometimes it happens immediately. I know this. Sometimes it happens immediately, and sometimes there's a delay of 3 to 5 days. And there are a lot of things that you can do to help soothe the baby too, like skin to skin. So just something to be prepared for if you are going into that situation. Also, we have had a ton of baby born situations come through lately, which is awesome. When the mom has already signed and you're being called and asked if you want to match, you should still, when you get there, before you sign, don't just go to the office and sign. You should still lay eyes on the baby, right? And even talk to a doctor before signing. Because that's available to you, you should know what you are signing, and it doesn't, you don't need to rush right into it the moment that you get to wherever you're going to hopefully adopt this baby. Hopefully everything will be fine, but God forbid you sign something and then you see something different or you hear something different. I don't think that would happen. The agency has to let you know if something's going on, and they know they're required to do that. But it's just always a good practice that if you are going to adopt a baby born, lay eyes on the baby first, see if you can talk to a doctor first, and then happily sign. Before we go on, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go away. We still have so much to talk about. Hey there, Adoption Roadmap fam. Are you ready to take the next step on your journey to parenthood? If so, head over to our website and take our quiz. It's called, Are You Ready to Adopt? It's not just about testing your knowledge, it's about making sure you're emotionally and practically prepared for the beautiful, complex journey of adoption. Let's make your dream of parenthood a reality. Go to rgadoptionconsulting.com and take the Are You Ready to Adopt quiz today. That's rgadoptionconsulting.com. The quiz is free, and it will let you know where you are in the process and if you're ready to jump into your adoption journey. Prep before the first call with mom. So after you match, typically what happens is first you're going to be sent paperwork. You're going to be sent a contract from the agency, more information about the baby, possibly. Medical records, if they have, you may get them in advance of signing everything. Typically, it's after, if they even have them. I know it's a little backwards. Some would say it's because of HIPAA. Others would say they want to make sure that you're committed first before divulging all this personal information of the expectant mom. And again, they have to divulge anything that is known that's in there that you would be concerned about. So you get sent all this paperwork, you get sent an invoice. Now, at this point, you may or may not want an adoption attorney to review the situation and the contract. They're typically straightforward. There's not much that's going to be changed, if anything at all. It's more for peace of mind, but still never a bad idea. And also, if we're talking about multiple states, meaning you are from one state, the baby is being born in one state, but the agency is in a third state, then there are legalities that you're going to want to know about. So it may or may not behoove you to have an adoption attorney to review the contract and the situation. And you got to do it quickly. And then you pay, they send you an invoice. And then what happens typically is they set up a call with you and the birth mom or birth parents. And 9 times out of 10, somebody from the agency or the attorney is on that call with you. Now, it's a good idea to prep for that call. And if you're working with a consultant, they should have some suggestions for you. It's going to feel weird. Try to be normal. If you're in a couple, you need to both be talking. And it's also a get to know you. This is not all about the baby and not all about the adoption, unless she brings it up. Of course, you want to ask how she's feeling. And you also want to just get to know her. Get to know her hobbies. What does she like? Whatever you would want to know on a first date with somebody. Don't ask about politics or religion. But you can ask about her other children, if she has other children and what they're into. Try to keep it light and just to get to know you. Again, she may want to push more about adoption stuff. In that case, you obviously you answer. And if you don't know the answer, it's okay. Let her know. We don't know yet. We are considering it. A piece of advice that I always give is, if you get asked a question that you're like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm supposed to answer, or should I answer? Or like, for instance, have you thought of a name? You don't know if maybe she's going to like the name, she's not going to like the name. Maybe you don't even have one picked out. One of the things I always like to do is turn it back on her and say, we are still thinking about it. Is there a name that's important to you that you've been thinking about? And if so, tell us the story behind that name. And then maybe you can incorporate that. If she asks about childcare, we're still trying to figure that out. We're not exactly sure yet. That kind of thing. Now, no matter how much prep you do and how excited you are for this first call, there is a good possibility that she may not end up showing up for that call. And this is more common than you think. She's nervous, you're nervous. She might bail out of nerves. She might oversleep and totally just forget about it. A lot of times, the women that we are talking about who are placing their baby, their lives are more chaotic than ours. Maybe they don't have a set schedule. Maybe, who knows, if they're substance users, maybe, they overslept, or maybe their car broke down. There's so many things that could happen, or possibly just nerves. Most likely it will be rescheduled and it will happen, but don't write it off right away if it doesn't happen the first time. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a red flag. So that's where I'm going to end. By the way, these are our t-shirts. This is a little wrinkly today, but the Honor the Triad t-shirts are on sale. If you are interested, just comment t-shirt or I want one or how do I get my hands on one? They are $22.97 plus shipping, and proceeds are going to Gift of Adoption Fund. So get your hands on them. Talk to you soon. Have a great week. And I will see you next week on This Week in Adoption. Bye-bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. If you did, I have a few favors to ask of you. First, please hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, I'd love to hear your takeaways. Please write a review and let me know what you liked. And if you have a question or a suggestion on what you'd like to hear, I'd love to hear that too. Please shoot me an email at support@rgadoptionconsulting.com and let me know what you'd like to hear about. And if you have a question, I may just answer it online. Thanks again for listening. Tune in every Wednesday and Friday morning for a brand new episode of the Adoption Roadmap podcast. Until next time, bye-bye.